And we're back with some Manor Lords. This one ended up on my radar sort of by accident, and yeah, it's sort of like a colony simulator with a little bit of combat. Like, think Songs of Styx. Songs of Styx, or was it Six? It's the Six Sticks one, whatever. Um, well, since we're new, we're probably gonna like we're not taking this guy. This guy reminds me of that Lannister kid from Game of Thrones, Joffrey. Yeah, the really annoying one. Oh, I hate that guy so much. Well, everyone did. Uh, and we're not battle hardened yet, so I think 16-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl, I don't know, girl with pigtails just seems absolutely perfect. As for our crest, is there any randomize button here? There, that looks kind of Irishy. We got a green background and a harp. Oh, actually, never mind. We've got the actual Irish harp. Good on you. There's like one dev who made this game, it seems. I gotta respect the hustle. All right, there's three things here. Basically, this one's peaceful, this one's normal, and this one is things are very tough and nasty. I prefer to just start with maybe restoring the peace. This should not be too horrifying. Let's see here. What have we got to work with? First things first, we have wild berries right beside us. That is great. We have strong, rich clay deposits. You can see the little crown symbol? That means there's a lot of clay there. That could be useful. We have normal iron deposits, which is whatever, and normal stone deposits. Do we have animals? Oh, yeah, the animals are way over here. So normally you start with two food sources. One is wild animals. That seems to be a constant. You always get wild animals. The second food source is generally berries, but it can be other things. In fact, let's zoom out here. This is the overall map view, and you can see other territories. We're supposed to conquer all of those, I believe, on this run through. You can see there's berries. Where is it? Ah, over here. This territory doesn't have berries. Doesn't have fish, though. So that's basically what you get. You always get the wild animals, and then you either get berries or a shoal of fish. But it's mostly berries. Actually, wait, no, there's three territories there with fish. Maybe I'm getting lucky. Downsides of this start. Well, we have a normal iron deposit. We prefer a rich iron deposit, but we've got the clay one. It's fine. Things are not terrible. However, this animal thing over here, the problem with these is these are really far away, and we would like them closer to us. So what you can do, to be all sneaky breaky about it, we can go get a building and place beside it. This is a shrine, cosmetic only, at least for now. Like I said, this is early access game, so nothing much going on here. But if you put down a shrine near the animals will run away. Oh no, but the animals have moved over here, actually closer to us. You know what? Why don't you move again? No. There we go. That's much better. So we've got animals. Oh, actually no, they're on top of that clay. We're going to need to mine that later. So sorry, buddy, you're going to have to bounce around again. Give me a minute. Okay, see that there? That looks nice and close to us and not too horrifying. Yeah, we can build roads as well. So one trick I saw someone do was they placed roads around this. The problem is if you harvest trees from this or mess with, the animals will move again, or if you put buildings inside here. So we're just going to put a road around it the whole way around. That means don't mess with this area. I think those two roads met, did they? Yeah, excellent. So we won't mess with that. We've got our berries close by, and now I just have to remember to do one thing. That is delete all of those, oh my god, all of those monuments. I have to get rid of them. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay. Early game setup and shenanigans aside, we didn't really need to move the animals closer. It's just kind of fun to do that. It seems weird. Let's go over what the overarching goal is and work backwards for what our plans are. It's easier to figure out what you want to do when you know what the overarching plan is. These yellow territories over here belong to this guy, Hilderbolt von Baron, whatever. He is another baron. You are a baron. The two of you are sort of laying claim to this area, these different territories, and you both want to win. So eventually you're going to come to a head-to-head with him. But the plan is build up your economy, build up your villages, and then take over more territories, and then probably have a big beatdown with him, and then keep going until you've controlled everything. What's it? Total domination is the name of the game. How do you beat him? Well, have an army. Use your army to smash his army. Have a bigger army, better equipped army. How do you get a bigger army? Well, for that, you're going to need to hire peasants? Colonists? Pawns? I don't know. You're going to have to recruit them. However, there's only one way they'll join you, and that is if they like you. This thing here, approval. So long as your approval is above 50%, one new peasant will join you. I keep trying to say colonist or pawn. Anyway, one new colonist will try and join you every month, so long as you have a house available for them and your approval rating is above 50%. If your approval rating is above 75%, two pawns will join you. And that's it. You're hard capped at getting two pawns to join you every month. Well, it's a family, not one, like a single pawn. So you'll get like a mother, father, and then a younger child or something. I don't know the exact mechanics of it. But The plan is we want to get this approval rating as high as possible, as quickly as possible, so we can immediately start recruiting 2 pawns a turn. That means we'll have the most amount of soldiers when the time comes. There are also workers and they build up your economy and a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, that's basically the plan. And then once we have enough economy going, we can get our hands on influence. And then we can use that influence to purchase other territories. For another word, like we can claim this territory with 1,000 influence. We might have to fight for it, but the claim option is there. So what that means is, well, if we have 2 territories, we can then get the approval rating up there to 75%, and then we could recruit 2 people a month here, 2 people a month there, and then move on until you've got like 4 territories, and then you're claiming like 8 people a turn, all of which can eventually be turned into soldiers in some way, shape, or form. So, short-term goals, get that influence or that approval real high, start recruiting a lot of people, then get the influence to get the more people. It's basically first you get the approval, that gets you the influence, which gets you more territory to get more power, and then comes I don't know, like the drug empire, something along those lines. All right, let's get stuck in. Well, first things first, you want to get down a logging camp. This produces lumber, basically those big tree stump looking things. And we want to get this as close to the trees as possible because, well, we're going to need a lot of lumber here at the start. When you're building these things, though, you'll notice it takes these 2 logs. But to move those logs, we start with a bunch of them, you're going to need an oxen. Because these hitching posts have oxen, and we'll watch it here now as someone comes along to drag them over. And, yeah, there you go. That's the only way to move those logs about the place. Bit of a problem, because, well, we only have 1 oxen, and that quickly becomes a bottleneck. So, I think the very next thing after that is going to be another hitching post. We'll just stick it right there. Well, we can probably turn that a little bit. Also, we're probably going to want a road attached to these 2. Yeah, there we go. We're not going to... We'll worry more about these roads in a little bit. That's more for wagons. But I'd like to have that set up just for now. And then you see they drop off that log. Oh, big log. That's 1 down. Then they'll immediately go back and grab another one. Then once they're done with that, they'll head over to the hitching post and put 1 on that. They normally do whatever building you place first is the one they tend to build first. Oh my god, are you going to the road? Yep, they're following the road. Okay. Oh, hitching post is already finished. Excellent. I would like to order another ox. This is going to cost us 20 gold. This is our regional wealth here. There's actually 2 different types of wealth. This is the only one we really care about right now. So, we're going to have to spend, well, 20 wealth to order another ox. Totally worth it. Alright, with that we should have another ox, but that will take about a month or so to show up. With that in place, it's time to get a few other buildings up and running. Now, normally what I would have done was went straight for the wild berries. Grab those as soon as possible. Thing is, those wild berries are going to stop growing soon. Once they stop growing, it doesn't really matter. We can leave them there for ages to collect them. We've got until winter, basically, to grab them all. But the moment it leaves this month, they just stop growing. You can see there on spring, it's got March, April, May. Like, this is a whole 12-month calendar. It's a weird Gregorian one where once every 6 years you get an extra month. Not really too sure about that. We're not going to worry about it. We've also got over here this thing that wild animals allows us to collect animals. We're not worried about that one either as well. I'm going to play this a little bit different to, I think, what other people do. But that might not be a great idea, but it's the way I'm going to do it. First off, this game is pretty much designed to do organic bases. When you try and build stuff, it tries to make them all weird angles and things, and it kind of conforms to the roads. And you see the way they've set up these curvy roads beforehand to make sure that your villages are all nice and flowing? Just not really my thing. So I'm going to remove the roads they've got in here. Yeah, I'm going to remove that road. And, oh, yeah, we're going to remove that one as well. I want to kind of do this, yeah, very straight lined. Give me a second to line up a road for this. I think I've placed a straight road. Sort of straight in line with the edge of the map. Yeah, that seems about right. I'm going to use this as a basis for, well, our entire base. Now, the very first thing we've got to worry about is homelessness. Everyone basically needs burgage plots. Burgage plots is translated to a house. Basically, they all want houses. That's it. Now, for spacing things out, there's a wonderful measuring system they've implemented. This called the corpse pit. Turns out this is the tradition everyone uses for measuring things because these things are a nice chunky square and they're very easy to, well, you get them access to them straight away and you can go like that. And that tells you that that's a perfect square there. And then we put another one there and we'll put another one there. So that gives us 3 of those in a row, which is great for measuring stuff out. Too steep to build? What? Ha? No, that not... Okay, this is a new one on me, but it's fine. We can work around this, so long as we can place the houses where I want. Just let me put some roads around this. This is basically just for measuring out an area where we're going to put our first housing. There, we've put a road around it. That should make things easier. Then we just deconstruct these. We're basically using these for measurement purposes. I love that the measurement in this game is a corpse pit. It sounds so dark, yet at the same time, this game's not that dark at all. Well, as far as I'm aware, we haven't really got to the end game slaughterages yet. Oh, and there's one other thing we need to build. You see, there is food on the ground over here, bread, and we should really get that into storage so that it doesn't get damaged. So we need to put ourselves down a little granary for storage purposes. This is actually a tricksy position to be in because I don't really know where half this stuff is going to go. But you know what? Let's not overthink this too much. That is one of the problems I always have at the start of the game is overthinking things a little bit too much. So let's simplify this and just put this down. Right here should be grand. So that gets the logging camp is not quite complete. Our people should be working on that. There's 5 unassigned families. They should be able to complete that rather quickly. Once the logging camp is complete, we will stick 2 people in there. That's actually 2 sets of families. If you look up here, we actually have 5 families, but a total population of 10. There's 8 men, 2 women. Ew, that's going to be awkward. That would explain why we have to keep importing people. Slow population growth that way. Select it and assign a family whenever you'd like to start production. Okay, we have done that. There is 2 people working on logging. They will start chopping all this down. Oh, yep. Gotta remember something here. These berries, you can accidentally destroy your berry patches. Like if we grab a building here and hover over this, see those red bush things? They're the berries. If we were to, say, let our tree harvester people here harvest the trees around this area, they would destroy the berries. I don't know why. That is very dumb. I don't think that is a smart plan. But what we can do is basically prevent that with a field trick that everyone seems to use. Where is it? 1 second. To plot it out, you basically want to figure out exactly where all of these berry bushes are and then put a field plot over them. So give me a field plot like that. I think that gets them all. And build it. Yeah, farmhouse, we don't care. Okay, so that should mean that if we try and place this down over... Yeah, damn it, I missed some. Yeah, I definitely missed a few. 1 second while I increase that farm area. Okay, all the berries are inside the farm area. This is something to do with... It's only if they chop down trees inside the farm area, there's no trees left to chop down in that area. That means we can safely chop in around this location without it causing any problems. Another thing we can do is we can set the work area. Now, what we want to do is make sure they don't chop down anything near the animals, but we do want them to like clear out this whole area so for later colonization. So, yeah, take that whole area. That's all yours. Chop it down to your heart's content. And done. We are still in the first month, which is March. We start in March. We're in March 6th. We want to try and get up 5 houses as quickly as possible. Once we've got 5 houses up, that means we're getting to the point where no one will be unhappy and we can hopefully get up our approval. Which, remember, that is the #1 goal, is to get the approval to a good level. Is that granary under construction? Perfect. This one takes a little bit longer because they've got to bring over the stone. You have a limited amount of stone, so you only get to make 1 granary at the start. The rest of the stone needs to be saved for making a church. And then I think I'm going to extend this road on just a little scooch to about there. Yeah, that's fine. And then what we'll do is we will put ourselves down a berry harvesting forager hut right about there. Yeah, get to work, peasants. You are going to be very busy for a while, and hopefully that second oxen will arrive in due course. Once the forager hut here basically harvests berries. Since we got berries over here, why not get around to harvesting them? Okay, granary is up and running. Forager hut is on the way. 2 guys are working on that, and while that is going on, let's set up our housing. My housing is going to be wonky, but I mean, that's kind of expected. All right, here is the plan. I want to squeeze 2 houses in here, but I want them to have a big back garden. This won't make a lot of sense, but something along the lines of this. Now, looking here, you'll see that there's this plus house symbol. That means we can upgrade this house to hold 2 families instead of 1. And this weird hammer-looking thing back here means this back half is available for the construction of additional thingies. This is actually really important. Turns out the additional thingies you can put at the back of houses is pretty much critical for the success of the game, which they don't tell you at the start. The tutorials on this are absolute trash. However, this thing's a bit wonky. It's going slightly to the right, so trying to convince this to go in straight lines is really horrifyingly hard. So normally what I do is I just put in roads. Roads are free, and they don't cost anything, so we can say, give me a straight line right about there. Then we can go build ourselves the house. So you can go from there to there, back to the corner, and then would you look at that? You get the double house, all of the good stuff. Get that to build. Then what we can do is just delete the road and start building the second house. We're trying to squeeze in 2 here. You go that direction, go off into the corner, and then back to there. Actually, that's an even better cut. You can see that cut off there. That means the back garden is bigger. What was the back garden like on this one? I don't think it was as nice. Let me double check. Yeah, that's a worse back garden. Look at that line. That line is terrible. It's slant. No. We want a better line than that. No matter what way I cut it, I can't make it stick. Fine. It's not perfect, but it'll do. There's all sorts of weird designs people have come up with for this that are normally diagonal, but I like my square grids, okay? I'm weird that way. Then we just delete those corpse pits to make sure no one builds them. We're going to leave those on medium priority. Let everything else finish first. Forager hut will put you up too high. Granary can stay where it is. Perfect. We'll probably put someone on the forager hut once it's up and running as well. Maybe grab some of those berries while the season is here. Maybe we can grab a few extra. Plus, it helps with morale having extra foodstuffs. So, exposed goods. Oh, yeah. You, maybe grab the food off the ground. In fact, I may want to speed that up. Damn it, I don't want to have too many families collecting. The problem is if you have too many families collecting, you never get anything done. You need multiple builders and you need multiple collectors. Oh, granaries and storehouses are special. People come out with these little carts. These carts move very slowly on like wild ground, but on roads, what they can do is they can come over here. That guy you see is picking up one basket, and he's heading back. This person has a wagon, so they can carry up to 10 items at a time. It depends on the size. So for things like firewood, rocks, stuff like that, they can carry 10 at a time and transport them to a storage location. This is very powerful, especially later on in the game. I think what we're going to do here is... Yeah, we'll have one more family maybe work this. Family requests market stall. Yeah, you can have your market stall in a bit. First, we got to get some housing up. What is it? Is it? It's 14. We're halfway through March, and we haven't even got our first house up and running. You guys are going along to help with that, but I think I'm going to speed up food collection. Thing is, we don't want that stuff laying on the ground. It will decay. So the less decay we have, the better. And then we can speed time along a bit. Oh, this new message up here. Yeah, this is, I've heard of Fernando, only seek to defend my rights, blah, blah, blah. This seems to be a thing that's not fully implemented, or maybe it is. I'm not going to write back to them. I'm not even going to communicate with them. My plan is to kill them at a later date. That's basically the Baron messaging you going, yeah, no, like, let's be cool, let's be friends. I won't stab you in the back later. He totally will stab you in the back later. All the food is now stored. That means we can take these people off that. We will put one person on, actually, should we put 2 people on harvesting berries? There's not long left in the month. We'll put one person harvesting berries. The other crew can get around to doing the building. I think it's probably going to be April. End of April before we have enough housing for everyone. I mean, we're 18 days into March. Getting this finished, even getting the logs over here is probably going to be almost impossible. How much logs do we have? Oh, we've got 6 timber. We might be able to get this up by the end of the month, but highly improbable. Oh, while they're busy building that, we can check out the forager. Their only purpose here, they pop back to the forager hut. They walk over to some berry bushes, they grab some berries, and they head right back. Problem solved. These boyos over here, they're just going to continue with the building. Soon we'll have one house up, burgage plot, whatever. Second burgage plot is actually going to be up and running shortly after that. And then we're going to upgrade those to make them doubles. But we're still going to need another house after that. 1 second, where are we going to squeeze that? You know what? We'll start these houses, we'll get them mostly finished, then we'll go with the upgrade plans. Yeah, actually, tell you what, give me another house just now. What you can do is this. We're going to put that like that. Then what we're going to do is hit this minus button. Right here, this is set up to build us 3 sets of houses with 3 plots in the back. Now, these plots in the back are smaller, but that's okay. Some things don't matter the size. Some plots do. It'll all become clearer later. This here will allow us to build 2 houses that can be expanded to make double houses at a later date. I would like that. It's just easier for heating and a few purposes. Sometimes you want less housing or less doubles and more singles, but that is a story for a later date. For now, this should set us up nicely. And you... Hey, guys, do you want to finish these off? We'll make these high priorities. We'll finish those off first. We will make you medium priority and we'll make you low. Just to make sure these all get done in a timely fashion. the moment, I'm just trying to keep an eye on a few things here. Yeah, the berries are pretty much... Yeah, I don't think we're going to get too many extras. Oh, and our first families have moved in. We got 5 families. We got 1 in a house already. And you see that +3? I believe that's how many more we need or how many houses we've got up and coming. And over here, you'll notice we've got this ability, expand the living space. We can just spend 2 logs and expand this to a double. Pretty sure that might be instantaneous. You know what? Let's find out. Could be. Are you almost done? Come on. Okay, we got 2 burgage plots up and running. You can immediately be upgraded. That gives us 4, and you are about to become very high priority. If we can get you finished in 5 days, we might actually have a shot at keeping our morale just about above 50% for the next month. Oh, and we need a market stall. See, these forager huts produce the berries and the foods and all that, but the people can't access them. If we click on this here, give me something that's not immediately upgraded. Oh, great, I've upgraded everything. You know what? We'll cover that in a minute. But for now, I'm just going to stick down a market stall just around this area here. Well, it's not a market stall. What you're doing is you're placing a place for a marketplace to be set up. This is available for 3 stall locations. Yeah, that's great. But basically, this is the distribution hub. So the berries get harvested, then they're either stored in the granary or dumped off at the marketplace. Once they're there, the houses can access them. But until they're actually at the marketplace, they're inaccessible. And then they teleport from the marketplace to the houses. Most of this, you have to actually transport stuff. But for the last step, I presume it was just too complicated and too messy. So what they did was they made it that you make a marketplace, the person goes from either the forager hut or the granary to the marketplace, and then from there, everything gets sorted out. How are you looking? Yeah, berries are doing okay. We're still in March, and this house should be up and running very shortly. Ooh, we're almost at the end of the month. Come on, do it for me. Nope, just not in time. Pity. Oh well. Oh, no, it's complete. In that case, we actually have 5 houses. So you expand living space. Like, this is the weird thing. When you do the expansion, it seems to immediately think that it's available, even though you haven't built it yet. So it thinks all of our families are now like 2 in there, 2 in there, 1 in there. Because I'm not seeing any unhappiness from it. So you know what? Let's expand the living space here. That means we've got enough space for 6 people. And yeah, we'll let them do their thing. You're transported on high. You are on very high. We'll put you down to medium. And I should really go through... Well, once one of these houses is completed, I'll go through what they're actually doing, or as in what the amenities we need to give them to keep them happy and keep their approval up. We're about to go... Yep, we've just went to April. We've turned over into the next year. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of homelessness so quickly. If you look down at the bottom, it says previous months -2 for homelessness. That's a problem. That -2 doesn't go away for a while. So I wanted to try and limit the homelessness as much as possible in the first month, which we just about managed to do. Then it's just a case of, oh, I don't think we're going to get another population this turn, unfortunately, because we went to 48%. We need to keep it at 50 to get another person to move in. Next month we'll get someone. For now, we're going to let them sort out the housing and the burgage plots, and then the next thing up we're going to build is wild animals. We need to harvest them. I believe this is actually free to build as well. Hunting camp. Doesn't actually cost anything. We will put you... Actually, right there seems fine. That puts you really close to the animals, while at the same time leaving you close enough to the granary that you can drop off your foods when required. How's this looking? 58 of 64. I'm pretty sure... Oh! I'm pretty sure this stops growing, though. Once you go out of that first month, it won't actually increase anymore. You know what? I'll keep an eye on that. You're on 56. We shall leave you there. Take a family member out. And we'll put that family member into hunting camp. Done. Now they can get his meat. All right. Which one of you is finished? Here we go. So, to be happy, they require well access. I forgot to build a well. Damn it. They also need church access. They want a fuel stall. Basically, fuel that keeps their houses warm. They want a food supply, and they need 2 variants. So, you see where there's 2 dots? That means they need 2 types of food, and they want clothing. Clothing is either linen, leather, or yarn. It's not actually any clothes. It's just they want access to either linen, leather, or yarn. If they have access to one of those, they will be happy at this level 1 stage. So our plan right now, get them water, get them fuel, get them clothing, then get them a church. Then we can start upgrading them to level 2s. And that should make everyone super happy and give them a 75% bonus. The first and easiest thing to gain access to should be water. Now, if you're playing this on the default settings, placing down a well is not perfectly simple. You see, when you put down a well, there is certain areas you can place them. See that blue streak? That is basically water-rich locations where you can place down a well. This is actually pretty good. We'll place a well right there. They are super cheap, quick to build. Then, next up should be, well, food stalls. No, fuel. Fuel, yes, very important. Thing is, we need a storage location for the fuel, so we'll put down a storehouse first. You can be... Oh, yeah, turn that way if you wouldn't mind. Yeah. Right there. So, storage house for the fuel that we're going to be bringing in. Then we need an actual woodcutter's lodge. This actually is different to the logging camp, in that this cuts down trees and turns them into firewood. So we will put you right there. We've got to remember to make sure that that doesn't cut into the animals over there, but we'll be cutting firewood from over here and our logs from over there. Right now we've got a decent amount of timber left. We've got 7 timber for building, or 7 logs. Then after that, we're going to require a clothing supply stall. Now, clothing, the easiest thing to do is actually get our hands on leather, which we can get from the hunting camp. The hunting camp over here is going to harvest animals, and the animals give you 2 things, meat and leather. The leather you need to tan in a leather tannery, which we're going to make this all a nice little small compact setup over here, so give us a leather tannery right there. Done. And they should build those all in the order we place them down. It has started raining. Raining is bad. It gives weather damage to things that are outside. Right now, the only things we have outside are stones, which I'm pretty sure mean firewood, and tools. Tools don't really do anything as of yet. I think their plan is to implement them to be required for some of your buildings. But right now, as far as I'm aware, tools don't actually do anything at all. So we're just going to put them into storage anyway and probably sell them later. So we're going to prioritize the storehouse. I put up too high. The storehouse stores the tools, it stores the stones, and it stores a bunch of other stuff. So we'll move all the stuff in there, then we'll get up the well. We just need to get everyone's mood up a little bit more, and everyone's going to be very, very happy. All right, storehouse is up and running. Give me 1 person on there. They can go over and start grabbing the supplies. I've also completed the road section here. Otherwise, what was happening was this. Why are you doing donuts? What are you doing? They're doing donuts with an ox. Come here. Okay. You want to do something? Oh, that is... Right. I got my eye on you. What's your name? Anna. All right, Anna. That is your real name. Actually, let's find out where Anna lives. All right, Anna. From now on, you can be known as the Joker. Perfect. Thing is, I was thinking about renaming all the colonists after patrons, but then I realized you don't really get to see them that often, and most of them won't have much personality, though we do get a retinue later on, which I think we can name them after patrons. They'll die a lot more frequently, though. But, swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Right, you'll notice that these oxen are quite slow when they're going off the roads, so I might want to put roads into the trees. These guys here seem to chop down the logs, and then... Guys, what are you doing? Oh, have we built everything? I think we've actually cut up. Alright, so we've got a firewood cutters, we've got a storehouse. Storehouse guy is currently bringing back all the stone. In that case, we're going to need someone on firewood. This is all about managing your people at the start. We want to make sure that all of our people are basically used to their full potential. I think we can cut back on lumber for now. We'll cut that down to 1 person. That frees up 1 person for more building and construction. We've got water access. We have got fuel coming in. All we need now is the clothing supply up and running. And why is that not built? Guys, someone want to get on that? Wait a minute, that's another hunting camp? Why have I didn't want a second hunting camp. What I wanted was a tannery. There we go. You. Go there, leather tannery. Yeah, excellent. We'll get those finished, and that should take care of most of the basic needs. The church can come next. Right, tannery up and running. I think for now, we're going to disable firewood production. According to this, we have 7 months of fuel. That's enough to keep us going for a while. Though do bear in mind, during the winter months, we burn twice as much. I'm going to put someone on the tannery immediately to start getting the clothing going. That should get our mood up that little bit higher. We don't need to be at... We're not going to make 75% by the end of the month because it's already, April 26th. But we can get a fair chunk of it up. Oh, and over here, we're going to be upgrading these burgage plots in a bit with extensions. I'd almost like to do it now, but I kind of don't want to have the pawns planting just yet. When we upgrade them, there's going to be a whole planting scenario, and it's going to take the laborers out of the pool. it doesn't really help us too much right now, so I think we'll leave it till a little bit later in the year. All right, this tanner over here has taken the leather hides and turned them into leather. And this is a weird quirk of the game that seems a little bit weird and unintuitive. Well, compared to, say, Songs of Styx, which is the closest game I can think of to this one. It's actually very similar, just much nicer graphics. Say fuel. Fuel is consumed. Every month they burn one fuel, except during winter months in which they burn two. Food, they consume one food. They require two types to be happy, but they only consume one food. Clothing, they only require one type of clothing to be happy, but they don't consume it. Yet. I think there might be like some sort of degradation thing introduced later on, a bit like Songs of Styx, which I'm going to mention a lot, I think. But for now, all you have to do is have one clothing for every house. And the thing is, these are actually double houses. So food-wise, each family needs one food. Not the house. There's been a lot of misinformation out there about this, and supposedly it's been heavily tested. I have not tested this myself. If you have two families in a house, they will consume two food. Fuel-wise, they will only consume one fuel, I've been advised. But, and clothing-wise, that I can confirm they only need to seem to need one clothing in a market for each burgage plot you've got. Doesn't matter if there's one family living in it or three. So right now we have, where is it? Food stall, firewood stall. No, this one, clothing stall. We've nothing in it just yet. But once someone transfers over the tannery stuff. Oh, I think someone's already started moving that over. All right. This seems, I just saw the leather appear for a second in the storehouse. So I presume the leather from the storehouse is now going to be sent to the marketplace. In fact, I think it already has. Perfect. So they now have one leather there. That means the closest house, which is this one, should have... No, not that one. Come on, you're letting me down here. One of these should get that little thing filled in once we get the leather in. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? So now we've got 3 leather in there. Yeah, so that should mean that all the houses will get it. Maybe it just takes a month to update or something along those lines. We'll look back at that in a minute. Oh, and I was wrong about the berries. The berries have actually grown back. We should harvest a few more. Oh, if you do not have enough people to fill a job, you get this little symbol where it's waiting for another person to show up. Do we need someone to be building, or do we need someone to be, or can we get people on berries? Thing is, you can hold a tab key and bring up all the available people. You can see there's one person assigned to the storehouse, one person assigned to the tannery, one hunting grounds, one person assigned to chopping trees down. In fact, I think we have enough timber for now. We can remove them. Granary is, well, there's no one assigned there. I think, yeah, we definitely want 2 people in berries. If we can harvest some more berries now, they will come in handy later. And I think with the tannery, we're finished. Oh, there we go. It's finally updated. Clothing. The clothing stall thing has been applied to all of them. That means they're all going to get happier. Yep, market food variety this month. Wait, we went into May? How are we only at 49% approval? Everyone's got water access. Everyone's got food. Damn you, Randy. I assume there's a little bit of random number stuff going on there. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. For now, though, that means I'm going to start upgrading these burgage plots. We're going to stick in a vegetable garden. Costs 15 gold. You start with, I believe it's 70 gold, so you can afford to get 1 ox and 2 vegetable gardens. Chicken coops you don't want to get at the start. Chicken coops can be any size, but vegetable gardens, the size of the back end of the plot is what actually counts. So we're going to put in a vegetable garden there, and we're going to put in another vegetable garden there. Now, what's going to happen is our little Paul's going to have to come in here and plant these veggies. They won't come fully online for 3 years. It takes 3 years for veggie plots to become fully set up. But there's a whole planting thing where the people have to come out and plant them. But once they're planted, they only ever have to be harvested. You never need to replant them. These are an excellent source of food. Doesn't require what the fertility levels are. We haven't covered anything to do with fertility, but basically if you want to go grain or something like that, this emmer is basically wheat. Ooh, that's actually looking like a very fertile map. I should have looked at this beforehand. Barley. Oh my god, we can grow barley. Okay, that's actually great. Barley's for ale. All our people are going to get so drunk. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, but this is the fertility map. For all of the carrots, you don't have to care. They will just grow on any soil you put them on, and there's no change to the production. Also, orchards, which you will get into later, same thing. So these are great little food things you can get built in, and they're very quick and easy to set up. You want food variety. To get to the max level, your burgage plots are going to require, well, when they hit max level, they're going to require 4 different food types. So normally it's going to be carrots for 1. Berries are, well, they're a seasonal thing, so let's not get into those. Meat, you're never going to get enough of it. Well, there's ways around it, but it's not really worth it. So you tend to go with carrots, apples, then usually grain for bread, and then for the third food source, it actually generally ends up being eggs from what I've seen. Namely because chickens here are quite good to get, it's just they cost a lot of money. So you don't go eggs early on because it costs 25 gold for each setup, but it produces 1 egg per family per month for the plot it's on, which means you dedicate about, say, a quarter, maybe 35% of all of your burgage plots to eggs. You produce enough eggs combined with all the other foods you make to keep everyone fed. Oh, and when I say they consume 1 food, the weird thing is you would think a level 2 burgage plot with would consume twice as much food or something along those lines. No, they all only consume 1 food. Even if they have a demand for 4 food variety, they'll only consume 1 food, whether it's burgage plot 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't seem to matter. There's no increase in food consumption, it's just they want the variety there. Which seems a bit weird, but I'll go with it. And there's our little... Yeah, there's our little peasants out. Is that Joker? Yep, Joker's out ploughing now. Not doing any sick burnouts with any oxen recently, have you? All right, while they're doing that, and we won't get any cards out of these till next year. This game is a little bit of a long-termer when it comes to planning ahead. You kind of want to plan 25 years ahead for what's going to be finishing up with. Oh, tannery. We need to shut that down. We don't need it anymore. The reason we don't need the tannery is, well, we've got all the leather we need. There's 4 leather there, which means we can actually support an extra house. How many families are there? We're at 5. We should get up to a 6th family next tick. I think, though, what I want to get my hands on, is a church. That should put us way over the top. To build a church, we are going to need planks. Planks are made from lumber. I mean, if you've played any of these sorts of games, you kind of know where this is going. You can go about there. You can move most of these buildings once they're finished. For example, well, okay, you can't move wells. Tanneries, okay, you can't move tanneries. Never mind. But, say, the hitching post. That hitching post can be relocated. The granary cannot be relocated. Forager hut can be relocated. Hunting grounds can be relocated. And I believe the logging camps and the woodcutter's lodge can. So a lot of the resource gatherers can be moved around. And if you deconstruct things, you get all your resources back. So you don't have to worry about spending things and then them getting back. It's the lost labor costs that usually kill you. All right, so we get up a saw pit. That'll get us the planks. And once we have the planks, we can put down a church. All right, once this saw pit is done, we want to make a few changes here so we don't end up scuppering ourselves. We can set a few boundaries under the advanced section. So basically, if we go below, say, 8 lumber, stop making planks. And if we go above, say, 20 planks, don't make any more. That is more than enough. Well, at least for now. Forget about these things, and you'll come back and you'll be like, what happened to all of my logs? Why can't I build anything? And you realize you've got like 50 planks there, or you filled up your entire storage with planks. Yeah, there's some pretty nasty ways you can mess yourself up. To speed up the production of this church, we have ripped everyone out of storehouses, even the hunting grounds, putting 1 person in the logging camp, 2 people in the saw pit. We want to get ourselves some of those planks up as quick as possible. Also, this wild animal seems to be a very low fertility one, so I think we can let this redevelop for a bit. There's an automatic limiter put on this. Keep the wild herd per head at 10. If you go down below 10, it seems to mess with the reproduction rates, so I think this is the optimum. Bring them down to 10 and just like harvest them at that level. Not too sure. Over here, what do we got? 55 berries. I'm still harvesting the berries a bit because it seems like a smart idea. You on the granary, you can get off that. We've actually got 52 berries in storage. I think what you can do, you hop in and harvest some more berries. Why not? If that's still growing, we would like to take advantage of it and stockpile as much as we can. Food-wise, we have enough food to keep us going for 10 whole months. But there's a spoilage mechanic. The spoilage mechanic is kind of wonky. I don't know the exact numbers. Well, I don't have them to hand. But if, say, food is in your foraging hut and kept in the pantry there, it slows down the degradation as opposed to being out on the ground. If it's in your granary, it slows down the degradation even more. If you leave them outside, they degrade a lot faster. And if they get caught in the rain, they degrade super fast. I don't think there's any way to actually purposely put things out in the rain. You'd have to deconstruct a building containing items for that to happen. All right, production-wise, how many planks we got? 20 planks? I think that's all we need for the church. Here we are. 20 planks, 10 stone, 5 logs. Yes. Trees uprooted for construction 1. I can live with that. We're just cramming everything in here right now. This is not great, but we want to try and get everything done as quickly as possible. We're at 63% approval, which means next month. Yeah, next month we should get our hands on another pawn. Right now we have enough space for 2 more people. We've got living space for 7 and we've only got 5. Yeah, we're not going to get the church up on time, I think, to make any better. Unassigned families needed for construction. Oh, yes, you. You can go away. How many logs we got? We only got 3 logs. You two, get off there and like immediately start producing that church. Oh, should I take people off berries? Yeah, maybe in a minute. I'm pretty sure those berries are regenerating. I could have sworn I tested it. Maybe there's like a limit to how many berries can grow in a year. I think that's what's happening. I think you can get about 300 berries from a berry patch, but they only grow during certain months. Huh. Interesting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. A new family moved in. A new family has moved into Burgage Plot. Yep, yep. Perfect. That one's been upgraded. That one's 246. We got 7. You know what? We will upgrade you to expand the living space on this one. Perfect. You can do that after the church is finished, though. Church first. The downside to building the church is it takes 20 planks, and people have to carry over the planks one at a time. That's the slowest part. See, one. Oh, they also have to carry over the stone. 10 stone's going to take a while. The crazy thing is it's only one dev. I mean, they've got to have like a couple of people helping them or something, but it's just like this amount of detail. This took him 7 years. Still not finished. Resources stolen by nearby bandits. They took 15 of our berries. You monsters. Where are these? Okay, so here's some bandits, brigand outlaws. They are all the way over there. We're over here. We're going to have to go kill them at some point. While bandits exist on the map, they'll randomly steal your resources. So we're going to have to go over and randomly insert spears into their faces at some point to stop them from doing that. Also, gains you influence, which we can use, and it can potentially gain you treasury or regional wealth, depending on... You basically get a choice when you kill them. Once this church is complete, it should give us a massive mood boost and get us above the 75% mark. Hopefully before the end of June. Yeah, market food, market clothing variety... Excellent. Every single thing is accounted for. In that case, time to put in some extra housing. Right, over here, we're doubling up. These two here are just burgage plots. These are also double houses. So each one of these are all going to be single houses. There's reasons for this. Basically, you can do these things called artisans and say you make a bow workshop. All the inhabitants will be converted over to artisans and they can only make bows. They can't do anything else. They won't be able to work in your tanneries or run any errands for you. Their only purpose will be to make those things. And the problem is, if you do that with one of these double plots, you end up with 2 families doing it. And later on, when you upgrade to level 3, you end up with 3 families doing it. And can really, you don't need that many specialists. So what we want to put over here is just a smaller number of houses. So what we'll do is we'll just put that over to that section, right to there, and to there. Wait a minute, no, put that down one. See, it's going to give us 1 single plot and 1 double. What the? No. Why can't you give me a triple? Oh, damn it. 1 second. There we go. That should be better. Perfect. Now you see it's giving us 2 double houses. Oh, you've got to be... All right. Let me prove I'm not crazy here. Right? I know I haven't really explained this the best, so let me try. The reason I went with this 6 corpse pit design is I can do fun stuff like, say, we can deconstruct this. And when we do, it leaves us space for exactly 3 houses. You go back to there, and done. See? 3 houses, or we can have 2 double houses. We can either fit in 3 people or 4, depending on what way we're doing it. Or we can fill that back in, and we can do our little design with the 2 houses in the middle, facing either side, so we've got the farmland at the back. Or we could just delete all of these 3 up front. And then, because of the shape of this, if we go back exactly this far... Oop, no, that's the wrong way. We go exactly back to the other ones back there. We can't build these because we don't have enough wood, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can put in 9 houses, or we can put in a bunch of doubles. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can fit in 12 people in double houses if we want. This is just so nice, and we can break it down into multiple different ways. This is why I picked it. This is why I'm so annoyed that on the build we've got right now, we're not able to stick in 3 houses. That was the total plan. I wanted to make those into artisans later on. 1 second while I get rid of this mess, but that was why I chose this particular build. I don't want a nice organic looking village. I want it to be structured so that I know when and where to put stuff in. Like, all of my designs are boxes. I can't help it, I'm a box person. Stop trying to force me out of the box. I like the box. In that case, we may just have to put in a couple of double houses here, but that's okay. We can just extend on and put more houses. It's the great thing about building in a grid pattern. So long as you can extend the grid indefinitely, you don't care. So I just moved the road a little bit. I moved the road a little bit to the left. Now we can fit in 3 little burgage plots right there. Perfect. I think as well as that, we're going to put down another logging camp. Might as well get our logging going a little bit over here. Plus, we're going to be demolishing a bunch of the stuff over this side at some point, so I just prefer not to destroy too many trees. That will trees uprooted for construction to give me 1 tree for uprooted, and I'll be much happier. We are coming up on the end of the month, and we're not going to make the 75%. Ugh. Yeah, close. We'll get 1 family, but we won't get the second. That homelessness really did drag us down, but because of all of the stuff we've got going on, it compounds, so this month combined with last month should put us over the 75% mark. And our settlement level has increased, I believe, because we've got more houses. What is it? Yeah, you have to get 5 burgage plots of level 1 or higher. So once you build 5 houses, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they basically give you a point to play around with. What's this message? A strong militia is paramount to the survival of any settlement. Luckily, a shipment of weapons has just arrived, and you'll now be able to create your first militia banners to serve you and protect your people. However, we will need more weapons to equip all the people as the settlement grows, either by making them or importing them from other farms or other locations. Oh yeah, there is this thing down here, and you can create a militia. So we could create a militia of footmen, which I think. Wait, no, it's spearmen is the one we've got. You can see over here we've got 20 spears and 20 shields. It's part of the scenario. They give them to you once you hit 5 houses. We only have a small amount of people right now, so we have like about 12 guys that we could turn into spearmen. That's not enough really to do much. I would prefer to have more people. And at the end of this month, we should have also received a new family moved in. Burgage plot level 1. Perfect. So they should be in this section. Nice. How much leather do we have on hand? Yeah, we're probably going to have to do some more leather, but these animals do not regenerate very quickly at all. We're going to run out of meat very shortly. And then once we run out of meat, it actually cuts down on the amount of available foods we've got. Right now, the only foods we've got are berries, bread, and the bread is what we started with, and we've 3 meat. We kind of want people to eat more berries than anything else now because we've got loads of berries, but if they eat all of the bread, we can't replace it, and if they eat all of the meat, we have no real way of replacing that either. Oops. I'm also going to move one of these hitching posts. I'm going to move this to over here. We put ourselves down this logging camp, and I want this logging camp to basically clear out this area. There's no point wasting the trees, and the closer your logging camp is to the trees, the faster the actual construction is. So we'll move the hitching post over here, put the, whatever you might call it, oxen. Dear God, why can I not remember that? We'll put the oxen down here. That'll give it close to this location so it can drag the logs around the place just that little bit faster. Cuts down on transport times. I'm sure at some point someone will cross-contaminate and try and use that oxen to pull a log from... you know what? Not going to worry about it. We're still leaving this logging camp up here because we're going to want to have that to put timber into the saw pit so that we can get our hands on more planks. Checking the footage, I'm already over the 40-minute mark. There's so many mechanics in this game to explain. Right, next up we should hopefully be getting ourselves involved in some combat. Right now we've only got, 14 people. We'll literally have about 20 people, and then we're going to go pick a fight with some bandits and kick the snot out of them. Probably going to wait until it's closer to winter, because during winter there's less stuff to do, so that frees up our army to go do some stomping. Seems to be no negatives for fighting in winter, which a bit odd compared for the time, but we're okay with that. And what I want to do is actually transfer this over here. If we transfer this over here, we can start chewing into all of this section. At the same time, we can move the sawmill as well. Thing is, well, the closer we are to the trees, the faster this is. At the same time, we can move the hitching post also. So we put the hitching post right there out front. And this whole setup here can basically start churning this place down. And once that's ripped out, we're going to get access to the clay. Well, we don't need to rip all this out, but I prefer to harvest the wood. The wood is always useful. So that'll give us access to clay, and we can start using that to trade and start getting ourselves some regional wealth. You know what? Yep. We'll cover all of that in the next episode. For now, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.